You thought Ukraine should be part of Europe.
Absolutely, 100%. And in fact, my whole time there, and this is all
But
public.
your client didn't want that, though.
No, that's not true. That's not true. And in fact, if you look at his presidency, you will see that the changes that were made in Ukraine over those 3.5 years of his presidency, we changed the economic system, the legal system, and the regulatory system, working with the European Union directly. And I was working with the European Union directly.
Are you talking about Yanukovych at the time?
Talking about Yanukovych. Okay. And this has been part of the
13, 14?
He was elected president in 2010.
Right.
And immediately, the first thing he did was go to Brussels and commit himself to working with Brussels to become part of Ukraine. When historically, all previous incoming presidents went to Moscow first. It was very controversial not going to Moscow. He understood what he was doing. He understood the symbolism of it. And so did the Europeans, and so did the Americans. And they started working with him. If you look at, and this is all public information, but it's not convenient facts. If you look at what he did during those 3.5 years, he prepared Ukraine to become part of Europe. He even said that while he wasn't committed to make Ukraine part of NATO yet because that was too controversial of a decision inside Ukraine, he left that question open. And it was only when Putin realized that the negotiations for the trade agreement, which was the predecessor for the political association agreement, was about to be signed, that Putin threatened Yanukovych publicly. Again, this is all public information. And said to Yanukovych that if you sign this trade agreement, I will immediately shut down all trade with Ukraine, which was approximately 70% of Ukraine's trade. And the trade agreement that we had negotiated with...
Putin said that publicly?
Oh, yeah. And threatened.
Because the decision was made sudden. There's celebration. Everyone's outside. Kids are waiting. College students are waiting. They're about to go out there and party hard. You know the scene. You've seen it. And all of a sudden, boom, we're not going to do it.
But there's a lot more to the story. And that's all, again, public information. When Putin made that threat publicly, because he wanted Ukraine to be part of a trade association that he was creating, Putin, Yanukovych said no. And Yanukovych said, we actually asked Barroso, the president of the European Union, for a subsidy to help Ukraine bridge the time frame when it was going to sign the association agreement. Because the way this document read, if you look at it, all the advantages in the first 3 to 4 years were favorable to European companies, because Ukraine was basically taking down its barriers and its trade barriers and its own tariffs and allowing it to be a free trade part of a free trade association. Yeah. And if Russia was going to shut 70% of their trade down, of the country down, all of its trade with Ukraine, but 70% of the foreign trade, Ukraine couldn't have survived that, and so it needed the subsidy. The Europeans said no. And Yanukovych then said, look, I can't sign this and have my country shut down if you're not willing to help me, but I'm not saying I'm not going to sign it. I've got to work out this problem because a week before, whatever it was when he made this final statement, Ukraine learned that it was going to have its market shut down. That's when everything fell apart. That's when everything exploded.
Did he share that with his people?
This is public information.
But what I'm trying to say is, in that moment when he said, I can't, did he share that with his people that 70% of our commerce that goes through Russia we're going to lose?
This was all public. Yes, absolutely, 100%.
That same day.
That's in. You go back and you look at the international news. You look at what Putin threatened. You look at the Ukrainian news of the impact of what that would be. You look at what was being said to the European Union members. This is all public information.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.